What is up, my dudes? It's me, it's Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. We're here, my November wrap-up, with a different animal today. We have my kitty cat, Bucky Barnes. Say hello. Hello, everyone. So, as I mentioned, what is up, my dudes? My name is Caitlin, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be going over every single book that I had the opportunity to read in the month of November. It was a pretty good reading month, I have to say. We have a couple of flops, but we have a couple of 5-star reads, which is pretty damn good, I gotta say. I'm pretty excited to go over all of the books that I read this month with you. So, without any further ado, give this video a like if you enjoy it. Maybe subscribe to my channel. If you don't, give it a dislike if you really would like to. Leave a hate comment down below. I am wearing my new Teddy Fresh Taz sweatshirt, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely adoring this. I'm having a great time. Leave a hate comment about that, though, if you would really like to. So, the month of November, I read a total of 8 books this month. 2 being graphic novels, 1 being a big Eye of the World novel. So let's jump right in. The first book that I read the month of November was Jade War by Fonda Lee, which I gave a 5 stars. I absolutely adore the Greenbone Saga. It's one of my favorite book series that has ever happened. And today, when we're filming this, the 30th of November, Jade Legacy actually came out. That will be one of my reads to come up, because right now I'm reading Scorched Trials by James Dashner. So we're gonna get to Jade Legacy very soon because I'm very excited for it. But the month of November, I gave a read to Jade War, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy following the different generations in the Call family. We see how Hilo and how Shay are going through their day-to-day lives, and now we see them having kids, and I just love generational stories like that. I think it makes for really rich content, and I love it. Also, along with watching the Call family grow, you actually really have fun with the political evolution in this book. If you're someone who likes politics in your book, I really suggest the Greenbone Saga, because we went, at least the first 2 books, we went from it being kind of centralized and focused in John Loon, having it be local issues, to expanding to international relations and international politics. And, our gang members are getting involved in those, international politics. The No P Clan and the Mountain Clan are both getting involved in international politics, and I love it. I love to see that happen. I'm a political junkie, so I love to see politics heavily in books, and if you like that as well, I think you'd really enjoy the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. I read Jade War, gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. 5 stars, Jade War by Fonda Lee. Absolutely loved it. Next, I'm going to put these 2 together because I read them back to back on the same night, and that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. So we have Heartstopper Volume 1 and Heartstopper Volume 2. I gave both of these a 4 stars. These are my first graphic novels that I've read in like a very long time. I really enjoyed it. I found it very fun, very fresh, very cute. I absolutely adore Nick and Charlie's relationship. I think you can't get much better when it comes to this relationship in, any sort of romance book. I am a hater, an absolute hater of miscommunication. I hate when authors heavily rely on the miscommunication trope, but I feel like when I read Heartstopper, there is some miscommunication, but Nick really goes out of his way to assure Charlie and, make sure this miscommunication is resolved relatively quickly, and I feel like that's pretty, for me, it's pretty realistic and accurate, and I really enjoyed seeing that depicted, especially in an LGBTQIA+ story. Yes, this is an LGBTQIA+ story. If you don't already know that, I'm pretty sure you already do if you've heard of these stories before. Also, I'm very excited to watch the TV show that I believe is coming out on Hulu. So yeah, if you haven't already read the Heartstopper graphic novels, I recommend them. They're really simple. You could fly right through them. Add some books to your Goodreads, challenge or award or whatever the fuck it is. Have a great time doing it because this is a ball. This is a fun time. So yeah, I highly recommend the Heartstoppers Volume 1 and Volume 2 books. I had a lot of fun while reading these. The next book I don't have with here here with me physically, and that is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. I absolutely loved Pachinko. I got this as a book recommendation actually from my aunt and cousin on my mother's side. I went to go dog sit their dog one night, and the book was laying out on their countertop, whatever the fuck it's called. You know, the table in front of a couch, okay? And so I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks fun and interesting. So I put it in hold for my Libby app, and I read it this month, and I gave Pachinko a 5 out of 5 stars. This was a super slow burn book. It took a little bit for me to get into it, took a little bit for me to finish this book, but it's for a reason. You want to savor the language and savor the story as you go through, because it's not very plot driven, it's very character driven, but that so works with this type of story. It follows generationally 4 generations, and we follow them from Korea, and then as they you know, encounter different hardships from the Korean War and have to move to Japan, and the isolation that Koreans felt in Japan. And I just really, really enjoyed this novel. If you are interested in reading a historical piece, not about Americans, please give this a go. This was a really great piece to read, and I really adored reading about all the intricacies of a Korean family, especially Korean women. We focus a lot on women in this book. I mean, it's not 100% focused on women, but we do have a lot of the point of view from a woman's perspective, and I really enjoyed that. Yes, that is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, and I highly recommend it if you haven't already. Like I said, historical, not Western, and it's just so powerful and so touching, and it's, for me, very interesting to see the cultural stark differences in like kind of societal normalities between what we have in the West and what is prominent in the East, specifically Korea and Japan, because that is where we're reading from. So yes, Pachinko, 5 stars. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it already. Sorry, the cat is just he loves me. He loves me very much. Coming up next, we have He Started It by Samantha Downing. This is a thriller novel. I gave it a 3 out of 3, 3 out of 5 stars. So for me, if you know, thrillers for me usually rest around a 3. I don't usually give them more than a 3 because there's been nothing that has blown me out of my underwear yet, okay? I have not been blown away, but He Started It was a whole lot of fun. It was a super unique premise. So if you don't know what He Started It is about, this is a very interesting concept. It's about 3 siblings. Their grandfather passes, and in their will, he states that in order to get like his estate that would be split among the 3 of them, they need to go on this road trip that took place when they were kids, and lots of sinister things have happened. For me, I feel like a lot of it was predictable. You know, I saw all the twists and turns coming, but I still had a lot of fun with the driver doing all those twists and turns, doing those donuts, even though I knew they were coming. The donuts were a lot of fun. I also very much enjoyed how unhinged and how unreliable our main character is that we read from. You realize that the farther and deeper you get into the story, and I love a good story like that. I love a good unhinged woman, you know, an unhinged woman who doesn't give a shit about her partner, her husband, her boyfriend, her wife. I don't care when a woman is unhinged for her love interest. I like it when she's unhinged for life. You know, she's a bad bitch for life. She's an unhinged bitch for life. That is my favorite, and that is what we get, and He Started It by Samantha Downing. I very much enjoyed it. I would say it's a solid thriller, a solid 3 out of 5 stars. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Is it the best book I read this year? No. Could it be the best thriller I read this year? Very, very possibly so. I don't read a lot of thriller, and that was very enjoyable. So let's move on. I don't really want to talk about this next book whatsoever because I've slandered it up, down, and sideways, okay? I've slandered it to the moon and back. If you know me in my personal life, I've slandered this book to hell and back, to the moon and back, and everything in between. And that is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. And this book does not deserve the slander and the hatred that I spewed upon its very pages. All right, it really does not. So I don't want to go too in depth about this book because I am doing an upcoming reading vlog surrounding this book and the others in The Maze Runner and some more books surrounding someone in particular. I don't know who. Anyway, so I don't want to talk too much about this book, but I do want to talk a lot about how annoyed I am that I gave it such a low rating when I first read it in high school. I think I read it like sophomore year of high school, maybe junior year of high school. And I'm so fucking annoyed. I am so annoyed of the slander and hate that I spread to this book. I was bamboozled, absolutely bamboozled by this book when I read it for the second time. I really enjoyed it. Weird, questionable, I know. The one thing in this book that I really, really did not enjoy was the love interest between Thomas and Teresa, because it kind of comes out of nowhere for the first book. But like I stated, I really liked it. And it's really weird to say, because I grew up my entire life hating this book, slandering this book, shitting, taking a giant, steaming, nasty diarrhea pile of shit on this book, okay? It was steaming and nasty and, you know, wafting in droves. That was the type of steaming shit that I took on this book. And I'm really pissed off at myself because I really enjoyed it the second time. I devoured it. I thought James Dashner did a lot of things in this book that not a lot of young adult books do. So that's The Maze Runner. I overall gave it a 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it for a young adult book. And you know me, young adult's not my jam, but I really enjoyed this one. I apologize for my cat in the background. You know, we've discussed this in the past. Sandbox, or litter box. He doesn't know the difference. He truly doesn't. Then I read Beatride by Emily Henry. And again, another book that I'm doing for a reading vlog, but I absolutely did not like this book. Didn't like it at all. I did not enjoy it. So let me tell you why. Again, I don't want to give too much away. You'll get it in a reading vlog this month, next month, the month of December. You will get a TikTok romance reading vlog. I hated Beatride. I really enjoyed it up until we started getting them actually romantic with each other. I enjoyed, you know, the depression in January, the pining that we get from the other motherfucker, Gus. Oh, don't even get me started on this bullshit, because it literally, and I have it written down on page 60. There's a part of this book. This guy's name is Gus. And literally there's a part of this book that says, Gus, the fault in his eyes. Are we 12? You can't get over that fucking book, really? And I got vehemently angry. I almost threw the book across the room. I don't want to see that shit, okay? We as a reader, we're not fucking idiots. We get it, okay? I understand that you named this character after Augustus from The Fault in Our Stars. Do you have to fucking shove it in my face and up my ass? Really? That's invasive. Anyways, I really didn't enjoy Beatride by Emily Henry. I enjoyed the characters separately. Once they got together, I threw up all over my room. I had to scrub it top to bottom. It was absolutely disgusting. I couldn't even get through the first sex scene. I had to fast forward it. I absolutely hated it. It made me want to diarrhea in my mouth. Like, I would rather be a part of the Human Centipede than have to read Beatride by Emily Henry again. I gave it a 2 stars. I will never read this again. If you give me $1 million, maybe. But I would much rather be a part of the next Human Centipede. So, you know, let me know if I am dying or the world's about to end, and those are my last 2 options. You know which one I'm going to choose. And lastly, for this month, we have an iconic read, and something I'm super excited to dive into in the upcoming year, the year of 2022, really get more involved with this book series, and that is The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. I finished this with a 4.5. I may have been lying when I said the originals weren't as good as the remakes back there, aka Brandon Sanderson. I absolutely loved The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, and I'm not quite sure what was so different about it to me than when I read The Wheel of Time. But I absolutely adored, or The Eye of the World. Is the first book The Eye of the World, or is it Wheel of Time? I'm so fucking confused. Anyways, I'm not sure if it's because I was more, you know, devoted to the characters the second time around, you know, reading the second book, or if it's because I started the Wheel of Time show. before I started this second book. And I absolutely could see and envision every single thing now because of watching the show. You know, I have the pictures, I have the places in my head, and it was so much fun to read the second book while I'm sitting and waiting for a new episode on Fridays. I absolutely adore the Wheel of Time show, and I absolutely adored the second Wheel of Time book, which is The Great Hunt. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. What could have made it a 5 stars? Honestly, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's kind of harder for a fantasy book to reach that 5-star caliber. But I just want to let you know that my 2022 is going to be filled with Robert Jordan, and I'm not sorry about it whatsoever. In fact, I'm quite excited. I am just flabbergasted, I'm floored, I'm amazed, and I'm ready. Fully ready for his entrails. Okay. That's a little weird. Also, another little tidbit about the show, I love it so much, but you know who else loves it? People who don't even read the books. That's amazing. You know, that is amazing that we're getting people who don't read the Wheel of Time books loving the Wheel of Time show. I'm currently watching it with my boyfriend, and he couldn't be more interested, more excited, more stoked to watch the show. And that makes me so happy. My boyfriend is not the biggest reader. When he does, he reads more kind of like nonfiction style books, which you can tell, do not. So it was very proud moment for me for him to actually enjoy the Wheel of Time show. He didn't even fully enjoy Game of Thrones. So now you see what I'm saying. I'm very excited to dive deeper into this world with him and then to read the books on my own. I'm just super excited, and The Great Hunt really got me excited for that. I'm very ready to move on to The Dragon Reborn, and that is that. So those were all of the books that I've read the month of November. I hope you had a great month this month. I hope you had a good reading month. If not, I hope next month's reading month is better. You know, we're in December now. We're closing this chapter of the 20s. You know, we're closing the chapter on 2021 and opening the chapter on 2022. So let's finish off this year with a bang. Let's get all of the books read. Let's get all the books we want read, and let's have a ball while doing it. Am I right, folks? I know I am. So like I said, my name is Caitlin. I hope you're having a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. If you're watching this in 2022, I hope that life is better than it is right now, because right now, shit is not great, okay? All right? But I hope it is for you. And like my professors once said, all press is good press as long as you spell my name correctly. And that is Caitlin. If you leave a hate comment with my name spelled incorrectly, that is not creative, and I will delete it. All right? All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Peace and love, and Teddy Fresh all the way as we slay, people. Have a great day.